Yeah, it's fine. It's going live now. It's live. All
And that
right.
way it gives us enough time to like get everything in and
Just
now
let the
mute everything.
music play.
Yeah, just mute it out.
All right.
Verizon 5G.
Oh yeah. Still don't know what I was waiting for, and my time was running wild, a million dead-end streets, and every time I thought I got it made, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I turned myself to face me, but I've never caught a glimpse how the others must see the faker. I'm much too fast to take that test. Changes, turn and face the strain. Changes, don't wanna be a richer man.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sarcast. I'm your host, Steve Lybrand, hanging out with my main man, Robert Rennie.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Seems like an appropriate song to play today, huh?
That's why I picked it, my man. It's the day after the election. Probably one of the most memorable elections I think I've ever had. And for what it's worth, it's probably only memorable because we're in the middle of a pandemic and the way that things went down. It appears that Biden's going to be our new president.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's going to be some legal battles, but I don't really, from everything that I've read and saw, like, in order for you to be able to take somebody to court, you have to prove that there was wrongdoing. And there's not a lot of that. Some of the cases that they're talking about is in Pennsylvania. There's some stuff that went down a little bit here in Montgomery County where we're at, with some ballots and curing ballots, whatever the hell that is, like changing stuff. So basically what it is if you forgot to sign it, they would tell you forgot to sign it and have you sign it, that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, they should be thrown away.
It's not going to matter anyway.
Right.
Because Pennsylvania is going to go for Trump, what it looks like. And if it does, Biden already has the 270 without Pennsylvania. So
yeah,
it's not really going to matter. And that's that. And that's why we live in a democracy. And that's one of the beautiful things about this country. But this election cycle should be a wake up call to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're living in a time where this country's never been more divided. It doesn't really matter whether you're Republican or whether you're Democrat. I think I've said this to you before. I might have even said it on the air. I think that the majority of the bad parts of politics involves like 20% of each side. 20% of the extreme left, 20% of the extreme right. The other 60% of us are right in the middle. And we're just annoyed that the other 20 and 20 won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could even be 10 and 10. And I think that's where people get annoyed. Like, everybody talks about like the division and the divisiveness during Obama. Whether you like Obama or not, he had the hardest presidency just because he's the first president in a social media era. And Trump found a way to capitalize off of that in his first term. And, he used it to gain votes or to cut down his political enemies or praise his political allies. He used it in a different way, and I think it polarized a lot of people as a result. And you're starting to see things in different states that are just changing demographics and the way that people vote. Another thing that came out of this is polls are bullshit.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned, that I didn't know if you know this. Do you know how the polls, how they determine what the polls come out with? You know how they come up with that?
What do you mean what the polls come out
Like
with?
what the numbers are when they say, hey, it looks like we've got Biden ahead or Trump ahead in this state.
No.
They call your fucking landline.
What?
No cell phones. They call landlines.
Seriously?
Like, how many fucking people still own landlines that you're going to use that as the determining factor of what you think is going to have the outcome?
No. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous, I think.
Wait, that's what the news is doing?
No, that's what all of these places, like all these pollsters do. They call you.
Oh, okay.
That's how they get their
bro,
analytical data.
I'm so, I got to figure out how to get my phone number off of whatever they found it on.
And that's the thing. No matter how many times you tell them to stop, they keep texting you.
Oh my, bro, I spent this morning, I texted 10 different numbers. I was like, yo, who won? Not one response.
None.
Dead now.
Yeah. It's frustrating as hell though, man.
Yeah, it's like, dude, my phone's been blowing up. And I'm like, dude, what?
And it's not even the right person. Somebody gave you a fake number.
No, dude, so I'm like Steven, Elizabeth. What else did I had like a Larry. Like, I'm like,
listen, I get Danielle and I get Danielle and there's another one. But it's just it's always Danielle, we really need your vote. Our records indicate that you haven't voted. And I'm like, it's because you don't have fucking Danielle. This isn't her phone, you jerk.
One guy called me the other day and he's like, Elizabeth? And I was like, yeah, this is her. And he's like, you're Elizabeth. I was like, yep, I'm Elizabeth. He couldn't hang up at that point. So he just starts saying something. I was like, I'm not Elizabeth, you idiot.
Like, I don't even go back and forth with them anymore. I'm just like, stop. Like, I don't have time for it. I've got other things that I'm working on. Like the Facebook messages that I get from fucking foreigners acting like they live in my state.
I can make Grateful Y'all podcast.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like the stuff that we
saw the one. So there was two of them the other morning right after one another, and you jumped on one and I jumped on the other.
Yeah. It's incredible. Like, I just got one before I got in here, and there's like telltale signs that like I can automatically tell. So first off, if you friend request me and I don't know you, I think two things. One, it's studio related, something about a show. Two, it's insurance related. That's what I do for a living.
Okay.
Like if it's neither one of those, like you friend request me, we have no mutual friends, or our only mutual friends are dirty dudes from the neighborhood. I know what this is about to be.
Dude, I got one the other day and I was like, what the
I got one from Habajul Ali today, right at 5:23. So she friend requests me in the afternoon. And then I immediately get the, hi, how are you? And I responded, married as fuck. She says, sorry for the friend request. I was seen in my friend suggestion and I saw your nice profile and added you if you don't mind. I'm not a handsome fella.
Wait. But the thing is, you guys have no mutual friends. How are you showing up in the friend
None.
suggestion?
She goes, I added you if you don't mind. I went, still married. She said, okay, cool. Tell me, where are you from? I went, married as fuckville. It's in PA, population 2. She said, New Jersey originally. Now I live in Portland, Oregon. What do you do? Question mark. And I just hit her with a question mark back. She goes, it's cool. As work, I am a cashier at Harmon's grocery stores. What do you like to do in your spare time? I went, whatever the fuck I want, as long as the wife says it's okay. She says, I like cinema, going to the beach and listening to good music. Tell me you like sex. I went, 5 messages in, has to be a record. Totally bypassed the wife shit. I'm actually amazed. She said, okay, I love sex too. What are you doing right now? I went, laughing at how ridiculous you are. I'm literally making fun of you and your inability to read my posts. She said, tell me you would like to see my breasts and my pussy. I went, no. She said, but this is just for fun between the two of us. No more, okay? I went, it's not fun for me. And wait, did we just break up? And she went, okay. And now she won't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, so what was the one you posted screenshots of the other day?
You
You literally told the chick you killed yourself, and she's like, you alone?
Yeah, I died.
He's like, I killed myself. Dead.
I got one the other day from Vandy Jusu. Hello, how are you? I said, I'm doing better now. I'm home with my father-in-law, my wife, and kids. I think I might be having a heart attack. I'm on the floor, and these weirdos are just staring at me. But enough about my Tuesday. How are you? And she went, nice to write you. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And you? I went, I live in a shack in Mexico. But let's be honest, you don't really care, do you? I'll bet your response will indicate you don't even read my carefully crafted post-its. She said, you are crazy. I said, very, but I may be dying. I think this is the big one. She didn't respond to me after that. This is what my life has become.
Oh, why do you get so many?
I don't know.
So I get added to like groups on Instagram all the time. Like
I don't
it's
fuck
the
with Instagram.
weirdest thing. Because Instagram, I'm private. So if you go to follow me or whatever, you have to like. I don't know how they find me.
The folks that are listening at home, watching us on Facebook on the CB Pro Live page, if you get these requests, dude, fuck with them. Post the screenshots up on the Sarcast page. We'll talk about them on the show. I think it's hysterical.
Oh, dude.
If you're going to waste my time with this bullshit, I'm coming right back at you.
Liz gets so mad at me because I'll literally answer the phone. I'll put it on speakerphone.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally like, the girls are screaming and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, such and such, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. How are you? I just start talking to him. She's like, stop.
I get the calls where it's like, your number was randomly selected
by Marriott.
Yes. And I'm always like, God damn, I must be the luckiest guy in the world. I got selected randomly 15 times this month.
You need a car warranty?
No, the extended car warranty is the best.
Bro, they hate me.
Do they?
Oh, dude. They'll call me, right? So now let's just frame this real quick. So my work truck is obviously belongs to my company.
Right.
Okay? It has like a fleet service and everything.
Yeah.
So they'll call me. I'll break down. I'll give them most of the details about the truck, except for like a VIN number or something.
Right.
But like I give them the mileage. I give them the truck, like everything, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then at the very end, the dude's about to like give me a price. And I was like, so does it matter if I have a fleet management company? Click. Fuck you.
That's my thing. If I get him to curse at me, like if I get him angry, I feel like I won.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had some dude the other day. So I got a friend request from somebody that's from the neighborhood. We had like 30 different like mutual friends. Like it's somebody that grew up in the neighborhood. I'm not going to give his name out. Like I know who the person is. So I get this message and it's totally like, I know right off the bat, because this isn't somebody that I would talk to regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So because I know that, like I'm automatically suspicious of everything that you're going to say when you fucking hit me up at 5:30 in the morning just to have a conversation. Hey man, how's everything going? Like, no, that's not real. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Wait, someone friend requested you from the neighborhood. You
so this is
forever. Was it a bogus account? You're saying?
No, it's real. It's real.
Was this dude looking for money?
Yeah, so he was trying to get me to go to the grocery store. He's like, "Hey, man, have you heard about Facebook's new program or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, no! Tell me more." So like, it's fucking 5:30 in the morning.
His
and I'm
account is hacked.
It was totally hacked.
Okay, yeah.
So then I'm like, yeah, I'm headed to the grocery store now. I want to go get the card. And he goes, "Oh, did you get it yet?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Where are you? Like, you're supposed to be in California." And he's like, "What?" And then I'm like, well, yeah, you ran off to California when you got caught fucking that guy in the ass. And he's like, I didn't do that. You're crazy, man. And I'm like, dude, everybody knows. Nobody's surprised. Like, talking about. So then I go back and forth with this guy for like a half an hour. And then finally the dude, he knows that I'm fucking with him. And he just goes, "You are not okay, man." And I went, he's like, "At all." I went, "What does that mean?" He went, "You just wasted my time here." And I went, "You hacked this guy's account. And you're trying to steal from people he knows. You're a piece of shit. Tell me I'm wrong." I was like, and then you say I wasted your time? What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Oh, man.
Like, I knew clearly this wasn't the guy.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Like, for real.
You're not fooling anybody with that bullshit. Like,
listen, I'm going to put it to you this way. If I need you to go to the supermarket and get me a card and give me the numbers, I'm going to call you or text you.
Oh, yeah. I fired back and forth. I kept, like, trying to confuse the guy. I'm like, they don't have any of these Steam cards you're looking for. And he goes, "Well, then get me an iTunes." And I went, "Ew, I don't buy iTunes. That's gross." That's my thing. You're going to waste my time. I'm going to waste your time right back.
Oh, no, I like it.
Before we go, I got a couple of election things that I thought was pretty funny.
All right, sorry about that.
No. It's fine. I don't want to get off the topic because I've got like 3. They're quick though. Hand sanitizer jams ballot scanner in Iowa. Like, first off, that's got to be like the shittiest volunteer work that you could possibly do is be a counter as somebody that works at one of the fucking polls. And then all of a sudden something happens and you're just like, fuck, this is going to wind up on the news. Right?
How the fuck does hand sanitizer? Like,
Some spokesperson Kevin Hall says some voters' hands were moist when they handed the ballots, and the buildup of sanitizer. Oh, excuse me. The buildup of sanitizer eventually caused the scanner to stop working.
it is different voting this year.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, I know last year I went into like a thing behind the curtain and everything. This year they give you a form. You got to fill in circles like you're doing a Scantron test
Yep.
with your number 2 pencil, except it's a pen
Yep.
or a Sharpie apparently. And then you go up to the machine when you're done and just slide it in.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's
Weird.
totally
I
different.
don't even understand it. Where did this process come from?
2018.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. I think it was the first time it started. Like, I remember, I love the old push button machines.
Dude, the push button machine was great.
Perfect,
right?
but people complain because they think that, I don't know, like it doesn't line up properly or some shit. Like, they're always trying to redo the system, and like I don't understand. Like, we're not. I know that what they're worried about because they had machines that got hacked.
Okay.
So that's like one of the big concerns. Like, people are all like, the fuck is taking them so long to count? And it's like, bro, 2016, there was machines that got hacked. They know they were hacked. Like, they know where it came from. They know that it was foreign countries and shit. Like, this is the alternative to that. We have to go back to an archaic way of doing things where humans have to count because as a society, people can't be fucking trusted. We're surrounded by with shitbags. What do you want me to tell you? And they're like, oh, voter fraud. And it's like, no, man, this is what we have to deal with now.
Oh, well, don't worry, dude. You're going to hear about voter fraud for the next month.
Listen,
That's all you're going to hear about.
It'll never cease to amaze me. And I'm going to talk about social media real quick. Social media is probably the bane of our existence. It's one of the greatest, worst inventions in the history of mankind. The amount of people, first off, that are voting for the first time or that don't vote regularly, that don't know the process, that don't know how things work. First off, mail-in ballots, they've been doing it since the fucking Civil War.
Right.
Now, there's an abundance of them this time.
There's more this year.
Right. But that's because of the pandemic, and that's the fucking time that we live in.
Well, and they pushed it too.
Secondly-
Like honestly, like I don't get it. I don't get what the difference was of you going out and going to the polling place. And
Nothing.
vote.
Everybody's like, oh, like people just think that ballots started showing up at people's houses. And they're like, fuck, I'm going to vote 50 times for Biden.
In Jersey,
no,
they did.
no, dude.
Well,
You have
no,
to
you
request
got one ballot per. No, Jersey sent them to every
Correct.
person.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have to send them back.
You have to sign it twice and do
Correct.
all that jazz.
I don't know what Jersey did. I know that in Pennsylvania, you had to request a mail-in ballot. If you wanted to do it by mail-in, you had to request it.
Yeah.
And when people are sitting there going, well, I don't know why they are already calling states and they already know. Well, it's because they know who requested the ballots.
Mm-hmm.
If they're looking at it and they go, we've had a million requests for ballots and 850,000 of them came from Democratic voters, guess what? There's a good chance that 850,000 of them are going to be Democratic votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's how they determine it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the other
even
part is
some of them
where people
too,
are like,
it's like-
oh, we got to stop counting votes. No,
Yeah, that came out today, right?
we've done this. We've done it this way. Like, literally, people assume that every year on election night, the election actually ends that night. It doesn't.
It doesn't end until like this. No, what is it? Like December 1st, all the votes have to be counted by?
Yeah, but they continue to count votes, but they can project based off of the numbers. It just so happens that the numbers are really close this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that we're going to hijack, first off, this it's rigged only because I lost mentality. You can sound like assholes. You really do.
100%.
You sound like assholes.
Yeah, I don't like it.
We
I
lost.
can't stand it.
But we lost, so it's rigged. It's rigged because you don't understand the process, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand how this is done, that it's been
But
done
you're
this
losing
way.
both parts of it right now. The
people that are
side
like,
that's saying that.
why can't we just stop the counting if it's not in by election day? Well, dude, it's been this way forever. You're not just going to change it because you don't like the outcome.
Correct.
They've been doing this for 100 years.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't start counting them because they've been doing it that way for 100 years. They didn't change the rules just because they wanted to fuck your candidate over.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
They've been counting them.
Right.
Philadelphia has been counting votes since 7 a.m. yesterday morning.
But like, these people are losing their shit over Pennsylvania. And guess what? Pennsylvania's going to go to Trump anyway.
Yeah, it sure looks
Pennsylvania
like it.
isn't even the one you needed to worry about. Arizona was. You lost it. I'll bet you Donald Trump's sitting there now in his fucking billionaire suit doing his billionaire things. And the one thing that's going through his mind is I probably should have fixed that water situation in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, you lost.
That's where I probably should have invested some more of my time, my infrastructure, instead of letting the EPA continue to strip all of these rules and regulations against companies that are poisoning the people. They're poisoning you, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. He sure as hell didn't care then.
On election night, Google searches for liquor store near me were at an all-time high.
Were they? That's good.
In New Jersey, how to roll a joint was trending as the state votes to legalize marijuana. That's a good one.
I love that. That's great.
And on a funny note, I don't know how this happens. I don't know if this is like a posthumous thing or whatever, but North Dakota legislator candidate who died from COVID-19 wins the election. Now, they obviously give it to whoever the other candidate is. The district chooses 2 representatives is how they're going to decide it. But like, I don't know if that's a like, hey, sorry you're dead, but you won. Like, I don't know how you determine that.
I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe it just happened so fast that they couldn't change it on the ballot.
That's possible.
That's probably what it was.
That's possible. Very possible.
You know, like for instance, like Kanye West won 2% of the vote in Colorado.
Kanye West.
2%. So he's getting crushed on Twitter. You know why? He said that it was the first time he ever voted yesterday.
Oh, was it?
And it felt really great that he could vote for someone he actually trusted. Me, is what he said in his tweet. Bro, Joe Jorgensen had more than him.
Yeah. Well, she apparently ran a pretty decent campaign as a third-party candidate. What do you think about third-party candidates?
I'm with it. I'm cool with it. Apparently, though, I heard something that they have to have a certain number of votes in order to stay in the next election.
Really?
Did you ever hear that? Yeah.
Jimmy?
Sandy.
Huh?
Sandy on Twitter said, yay, if Biden wins, I can go collect welfare in conjunction with having a full-time job just like everyone else.
Our video's down again, dude.
No, only my video is down.
Well, the video that I shared out is down.
It's still up. I see it.
Yeah.
Ollie and Jimmy are watching.
Jimmy Marcus said, me and Anna still have a nice Twitter relationship going. I actually spun it on her that we will be promote her through our podcast, working hard on it. So that was just somebody that was random that reached out to him through Twitter too. Because I'm not the only one that gets them.
Oh yeah, dude. They're everywhere.
So do you want to hear my my real quick Uber stories?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
So I'll start off with a quick one. So I like to go out. I'm an early person. I get up early in the morning. I'm generally up sometime between like 5 and 6, generally every morning. I'll go out and I'll Uber a little bit or drive Lyft before I go into my full-time job. Sometimes I'll get up on the weekend. I do it because it's either that or I'm going to sit there and just watch TV and kind of veg out on the couch. At least I can go do something productive while everybody else is sleeping.
Right.
So I went out on Saturday morning, right?
Okay.
My first ride, I pick up this lady that lives like, I don't know, 10 minutes away from me. It's like she gets in the car, right? And I can tell it's kind of been like a long night, right? So she's like, oh, can you turn on the lights so I can put on my earring? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to get ready for work. It's dark out still. Now keep in mind, it's 6:30 in the morning. She goes, I'm so excited. I haven't been out in a while. She can go on to meet up with my breakfast club. Now I'm in sales, right? So when you say something like breakfast club or something like that, like I think networking event. So it piqued my interest. I'm like, oh, you guys meet up regularly? And she goes, yeah, every Saturday, every Sunday morning, they get together. We call it the breakfast club. There's a bunch of us that have been doing it for years. She's like, we don't really get a chance to get out anymore or see each other at night. So this is the next best thing. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's cool. Like, so naturally, where do you think I'm taking this thing?
It should be like a diner.
It'd be, her and a couple of her girlfriends getting together.
Bar?
Yes.
Bar?
Yes. She's like, you should come hang out. And I'm like, it's 6:30 in the morning. And she goes, yeah, we do this at, early in the morning. That way we still have the rest of the day. And I went, to do what? Like, if it's me, I'm fucked up by 10. I'm not going anywhere.
Going home to
Yes.
bed.
So we pull in. She goes, they don't open until 7. And I went, you're 30 minutes early. She goes, yeah, well, the bartender's here. I'll hang out with him. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, where has this been forever? Like, in my 20s, I probably would have been like, you know what? This isn't a bad idea.
You would have just went there.
You would have just went there on the way home.
You would have
At-
just like,
You
yo,
would have just like, yo, I'm going
Right?
here.
Take me there
Just
in
take
the
me there in the morning.
Now, I know you come from a product of a very famous Northeast roofer. Like, I thought of Moon, like bringing breakfast sandwiches to all the bartenders.
bro.
and the
Oh,
fucking
bro,
people.
that was
Yo,
probably
he did that on
he did
rainy
that on
days.
rainy
That was his
days.
move.
Like,
So
here's the story about my dad.
Like,
So
I'm
I'm
21.
21.
I go to the Tacony pool hall, which is no longer there.
Right.
And I
walk in. It was a bar in the back. We go there for like a night of drinking.
Right?
Okay?
I get
I get
carded
by the bartender.
I'm like,
I'm
cool,
like,
whatever.
cool, whatever.
I hand her my
I hand her
card.
my card.
Her name was Janine.
Her name was Jean.
I've never heard someone be like,
Heard someone be like, oh my god, oh my god, dude,
Came
came
running
running
around
around from the other side of the bar, like to give me a
I'm
hug.
still
and
like,
shit. I'm still like, what
just happened?
just happened?
No idea, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, what's
what's going on? And then I
going
kind
on?
of hit me.
And
and
then
I
it
was-
hit me, and I was like,
You're the son of a neighborhood celebrity as far as the daytime bartenders go.
yeah. So he used to go
yeah.
into the.
So he used to go into the, I think it was, what
Doolittles.
the hell was it called?
Doolittles. He used to go into
Doolittles.
Doolittles.
He used to go into
whenever-
Doolittles during the day
Yep.
whenever it
All
rained
day.
and hung out all day.
Roofer. It's the roofer. That's the roofer schedule. Contractors all go into the bars and during the morning. But like on a Saturday morning, this chick was legit 6:30 in the morning going to I just thought it was impressive. Like I don't think that I have the stomach at my age. Now she was older than I am.
I wonder, like, if
I
they-
wonder, like, if they really drink though.
Oh no, yeah,
like
yeah.
if they're
yeah.
chugging,
Like
them
if
away,
they're chugging them
they're
away,
having
dude, or if they're having
Do you think you can
one
get listen,
glass, like
dead
an
serious.
one glass like an hour.
Get up on Saturday morning at 6:00 and drink a beer.
Nah,
I don't even do it on a Saturday night at fucking 6
Right.
o'clock. Like I don't even
Right.
care.
Like that's not like I don't even think I could do it. Like I don't think my stomach would be like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Like
Yeah,
I've got
dude, like, I'm
the
not-
only thing I'm gonna choke down at 6:00 in the morning is coffee. Like you're not like I can't even do like I used to be able to do a soda first thing when I got up.
Hmm.
No chance. I don't even do it. Don't
oh,
even,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not my thing.
Dude.
A couple hours in.
Like, but even
But
when I get
even when I get up in the
like,
morning, like sometimes my body don't even want to take my vitamins.
I feel like
I'm gagging trying to take my vitamins.
Flintstones? Are they
Yeah.
Flintstones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're real.
no, they're real ones.
Flintstones, aren't they?
Yeah.
You got yourself a Wilma.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Wilma's
Fuck
great.
yeah.
that
But I
movie.
mean, like,
But I mean,
you're up in the
Like,
morning, like, and your body's like,
you're
yo,
up in the
what
morning,
fuck
like, and
you
your
doing?
body's like,
But like you could tell, like she got up specifically for this.
Wow.
wow.
Like just I was amazed that like first off the bar's even open at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what you have to do now with all the COVID regulations, where they have to close at like 11 or.
Are they 11 p.m., right?
Are they
Yeah.
11 p.m.?
Oh, it's 6
Yeah.
o'clock.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my first
Wow.
Uber story. Second Uber story. A couple hours later.
Same day?
Huh?
Same day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same day?
A
Okay.
couple hours later, driving, I pick up this older black lady. So she gets in. I picked her up. She was getting into eyeglass appointment, like a Vision Works or whatever.
Sure.
So she gets in the car. I exchange pleasant. She's, "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good." And then she starts talking. Right. So she goes, she's like, "Hey, so and so." She's like, yeah, I just finished my appointment. There was an insurance thing. It was going back and forth, and she's having a conversation for like 5 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Yeah,
Wait,
they
so
did my
she was
test
talking
Wait,
to
so
you
she
or-
was talking to you or on the phone?
on the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
She's on her phone. I can clearly tell that she's on her phone.
So you're listening to the whole
So
thing.
you're
now.
listening to the
absolutely-
whole thing.
Yeah, just know that if you're driving
Okay.
in an Uber,
That's-
you always
yeah.
listen to your conversations.
Fuck yes.
Like I ticked
Fuck
the
yes.
radio down like one dial at a time, so it doesn't seem obvious that the radio just got turned off.
Yeah.
Especially if
Yeah.
it's juicy. I have a podcast. I need stuff to talk about. So she's in the back and she's like, "And then my insurance," and she pauses and she's like, "I'm not really sure if they're gonna take the copay or whatever." And she's going on for like it's like a 5-minute conversation. And then she goes, "So when you get this message, give me a call back." And I just looked in the mirror and I went, "Did you just leave like a 5-minute fucking message for somebody?" Like it was legit, like 5 minutes.
Oh, wait, so you just said that though?
No,
Like,
I just
straight up?
I looked in line, like I was like, what the hell just
Oh,
happened?
dude.
Oh, dude.
So then like I start talking to
Listeners.
her and she's like, Yeah, I had to call my daughter, let her know how my appointment went. And I went, yeah, I know. I heard. Like, but the way that she was talking, like, I thought she was having like, she would say a couple things and then she would stop and then, like she was waiting for a response. But, like, she's just leaving a message and it was legit 5 goddamn minutes. And I was like, what the hell is going
on? That's strange.
That's strange.
Yeah, like, I've never 5 minutes. She must be a delight to talk to. She's totally one of those people where, like, when they call you on the phone, you can literally put it down, walk away, and come back. I have a friend that's like that. Like, I've literally done it to him. Like, where you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's just straight up run on sentence. It doesn't take a breath. Like, literally, I'll put the phone down and I'll come back 3 minutes later. And he's like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yep, never missed the fucking. I have no idea what he's talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
But yeah.
What's his initials?
What's his initials?
It's mutual. But yeah, I've totally done it. But she's totally. Yeah, totally.
He might be listening.
He might be listening.
He just did it on the screen backwards, so I'm pretty sure it's going to get picked up.
No, he didn't say it.
No, he didn't say it.
I don't know, man.
No, he didn't say it.
No, he didn't say it.
Maybe he's listening. Maybe he's not. It's not Jimmy Marcus. I'll tell you that much.
Not. I didn't.
But yeah, like she was totally.
I didn't do this.
I was just impressed. It was a 5-minute message.
Let me ask you
a question. Ready about voicemails?
Yeah. I let my
voicemail box fill up.
I don't
So I've
ever
noticed.
have voicemails.
I hate
voicemails.
So, like, I'm hit or miss with voicemails. So, like, I'd prefer to text, but if I'm driving, I obviously don't want to.
Correct.
So, like, if you call me and I call you back and I'm just like, hey, man, just calling you back or whatever, if it's something like studio related, that I can leave you a message that you can read, because I know that everybody can read their voicemails now.
Right.
Like, I'm good with that.
So I don't do it to not get messages from you, but I get like so many junk calls that literally I'm like, I just don't want them leaving me messages. Like, I could probably go in here right now and find a voicemail that I'm just like,
Oh, there's a ton, dude. I get phone calls from, because I get a shit ton of medications and stuff.
Yeah.
I get a ton of calls from the pharmacy. Your prescription is ready. Press 1 to fill your prescription. And it's just like, dude, like, you text me 50 times. I got it. But, like, that's how I make sure that my shit gets filled all the time. And then my final Uber story. This one's actually my favorite of for a long time. So Sunday morning, I get up. It's 5:00. I'm like, I'm just gonna go out. I'm on a streak, right? So, like, Uber does these things where, like, if you do so many rides, you get like a cash bonus for doing them. So I was on a streak where I had to get 20 rides. If I got 20 rides, I got like an extra $80. So I only needed 3 more rides. So I was like, I'm gonna get up. I'm just gonna go out, get this over with, get my streak, get my extra cash, and then that's that. So I get up, I do my first ride, and it was awesome, dude. I had to drive like 25 minutes to pick this guy up. But, like, as soon as we get in the car, my man hands me $20.
Really?
Right. So, like, he hands me $20. I actually left the house at 6:00. So he hands me $20, right? 2 tens. I'm like, that's kind of odd to, like, throw me a $20 tip first ride out, like, whatever. Like, and it was only like a 10-minute ride. So drop him off. I pick up the next person. It's totally because it's the day after Halloween. Like, this is totally walk of shame.
Oh, okay.
Like, the girl's in it's 30 degrees out. She's in like sheer black stockings and like booty shorts and like a tank top. Like, she left some party or wherever she was at. I went to some dude's house. Like, so I'm trying to sneak her in before her parents wake up, kind of thing, right? I drop her off and then I get a ride request. It's my last one. All I have to do is this one last ride. I'm only like 45 minutes into it. I'm like, cool, this is gonna be a quick morning. I'll go grab some breakfast, go home. No big deal. So I get this ride and I have to drive 10 minutes to pick them up. And I quick accept it because I got excited because it was going to be done and over with. 82-minute ride.
Oh.
I don't mind doing it.
Well,
I'm like,
it's like what? Like at least $100 though. And then you made the 80 on top of it. So it's a killer ride. Like,
this dude, right? So as he gets in the car, you know me, I'm a Dunkin' guy. I constantly have a coffee whenever I'm driving and stuff, right? So he gets in. As soon as he gets into the car, like, I sense it's off. Right? He gets in, throws his bag in the car. We're going to Newark Airport.
Okay.
So he looks down and he goes, oh, I see you had time to grab yourself a coffee. But the way he said it was like I was supposed to know to grab him one too. So I was like, I can stop. There's one before we hit the turnpike. If you want, I can quick grab you one. No, we don't have time. I gotta get this flight. Now I look at the clock and the clock in my car says 7:38. So I look at the ride and it's an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm like, oh, you got to catch a flight. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we're really up against it. He's like, I'm trying to do everything I can to make it there. And I went, well, what time does your flight leave? And he went, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to freak out. And I kind of glanced in the mirror and I wanted to go, bro, I'm not catching the flight. I don't give a fuck what time you get there.
Right.
I was just, no, like maybe I could make it there. And he's like, I don't want to tell you. And I'm like, I can still stop for that coffee. There's going to be nobody in the line. We can grab it. And he's like, no. He's like, my flight leaves at 8:35. And I'm at a red light and I look in the back seat and I went, we're not going to make it. And he went, I know it's going to be close. And I'm like, I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, I've got 50 fucking minutes to do this hour and 20-minute ride. Like, I want to try to get the guy there because now I'm going against my own personal record. Like, it's a challenge at this point. I know that I'm going to hit the turnpike and I'm going to be able to cruise. So I jump on the turnpike, right? We're going and I'm looking at the clock and I'm like 10 minutes in and I think I made up like 3 minutes already. Like I'm flying, I'm doing like 80, 90. Dude's not saying a word, doesn't care. Like we're conversating about all kinds of different things. And the guy was, he's a very well-traveled guy. He's been everywhere. He's talking about like the guy was a very interesting cat. Like he's starting a new business where he's going to go to like countries where it's really cheap to live.
Okay.
And like not cheap to live, but like cheap to visit as a tourist.
Okay.
And set up hostels.
All right.
And then like charge that, like have like franchise hostels where people can go and stay at like cheap rates. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like that's not something I would ever think of. I've never been, anywhere out of North America. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not something that would ever cross my mind. He's well traveled. So like we're 12 minutes into the ride. He didn't want me to stop because it's better that I don't have the coffee. It's better for my discipline. I shouldn't drink it. I'm like, all right, no big deal. So we're going, right? And he's like, I'm like, are you going to be all right if you miss your flight? And he's like, well, I've already checked. There's a couple other flights that are leaving out. It's only North Carolina. It's domestic. He goes, if I don't make it, which doesn't look like I'm going to, I already see another flight that I can grab. I'll just, see if I can transfer it over or whatever. And I'll figure it out. It's not that big a deal. And then it hits me. Daylight savings time. It's actually only 6:50. I called it on my phone, but I never changed the clock in my car. My phone changed. And I looked at it and I went, oh, shit, bro, we're good. And he's like, what do you mean? You think we're going to make it in time? And I went, with like an hour to spare. And he goes, oh, shit, daylight savings time. He was like, I drank so much last night that I overslept. He's like, I'm hungover like you wouldn't believe right now. And he goes, and I thought about this yesterday, that daylight savings time. He goes, but I never changed my alarm clock. So I woke up late. And he goes, I ran quick, grabbed all my shit, called the Uber. You showed right up right away. And I'm like, bro, I never set the clock in my car. This is on me as much as it's on you. Like, we're like best friends now. Like, I'm like that eureka moment where I was like, oh shit, this is all going to work out. Everybody's good. Now I wish I would have done man. We totally got in the car like we were in this together. And like I was on board. Like I could feel the sense of urgency in his voice. I'm like sitting like he hit me with the oh, I think you had time to stop and get coffee. Like I was turned off by that. Like, he came at me very aggressive.
Well, he probably thought it took you longer to pick him up because he already thought that he was behind.
Yeah, but like maybe he thought that I grabbed the coffee right before I grabbed him.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. I know. I figured that. Like, he probably had that shit in the car. Yeah,
but that made sense.
Probably literally was like empty. You're like, dude, like I've been drinking this thing all morning.
Back to the whole series of events. I actually left my house at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning to go out in Uber. Sunday morning to go out.
Yeah.
To boot, the first guy that I picked up was picking him up from an overnight shift to work and dropping him off. I was probably the only Uber driver around. That's why the guy threw me $20.
Oh yeah.
I
didn't even know why this thing for like an $8 ride. Like it made no sense whatsoever. And it made even more sense now why that girl was trying to sneak in because she was trying to get in before 6 a.m. Like she totally got dropped off at like 5:40. No way, her parents.
Dude, it's so funny you said that. Me and Liz watched Days and Shoes the other night. And that's like on Friday night. You know, at the end of the movie when he sneaks in, that was the chick. His mom grabs him. Are you drunk?
You get a pass. But yeah, it was hysterical. Like when I found that, like the entire vibe of the ride completely changed as soon as we crossed into Jersey. I'm like, dude, we're gonna make it.
Imagine you said.
I was happier for him than anything. And like I was like, this is my last ride. Like I'm calculating in my head, and I'm like, is it definitely going to be like $180 ride with that bonus? So it was cool. Like I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, nice easy Sunday morning. I'm done after this, and went and picked up my boys who went and had breakfast, and that was that. Like, but it was just funny, like how we were in it together. Like when he got in the car, that was like, I see the.
So did he tip you?
No.
Oh, nothing at all. Oh,
that kind of bugs me too. Don't ever tell your fucking if you're not going to tip the guy, don't tell him you're going to tip him.
Did he tell you that?
Did he tell you that?
I think people at home.
I hate when they do that too.
You mind stopping at the Wawa? Yeah, I do mind stopping at the Wawa.
Oh, I'll take care of you.
Oh,
man.
I'll take care of you, man. I'll grab you a soda or something.
Yeah, no, good.
Good.
What you do?
Like,
yeah.
I got a funny story one night.
I got a funny story one night. I'm Ubering and someone's like, "Yo, can you stop at the Wawa?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And the one girl wanted to stay in the car. I was like, "Everybody out." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "I gotta use that."
I've had that happen. I had to drop a deuce. I was picking this girl up and taking her to work, and I was like, "Do you mind if I stop real quick to go to the bathroom?" And she goes, "Yeah, no problem." So I went to the Wawa, and it was one of the older ones that doesn't have a bathroom. I'm like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" I didn't shit. There was nowhere to go. I had to go across the street to this diner. Like I literally, I walked past the car and I threw up the one finger to let her know one more minute. I walked. This is a while ago. So I walk across the parking lot to this restaurant. I walked in and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna get something to eat. But can I use your bathroom real quick? I can use the bathroom first." So she kind of gives me this puzzled look, and I went and shook my head like, "Yeah, you know what this is." So I went and destroyed their bathroom real quick. I went and hop back in the car. We get going, and she's like, "I'm gonna be late for work, but it's not a big deal. I don't really care." And I'm like, "I am so sorry." Like, I had their choice. Like, I had to. Like, this was happening. It's either that or I stop your ride now. Like, yeah, but like when I walked out of the Wawa back past the car, I was like, "Oh no, memento, please."
I'll be right back. Duck walking.
Duck. I got the penguin going out of wobbling. But that's the thing too.
You walk by, you're outside the car, you're like, turtle head.
That's the thing in the morning when you pick up people, there's 2 stops to the ride. You got to stop at Wawa so they can go. And like every time I'll stop just so I can go to the bathroom. But like they get out of the car and I get out of the car and they always give me this puzzled look like, "Fuck you going?" And I give them that puzzled look right back, like, "Same place you are. Use the bathroom."
Yeah.
Like they kind of walk.
Stop here.
I see them kind of like looking over to see where I'm at, and it's just like right into the bathroom. Like we're normal people. Like I'm not confined to my car.
Yeah, I'm
a dude. Yeah, like
it's always funny too. Like the distance I'll cover in the morning before I head into work. Like I'll think about it. Like this is a local reference, so if you're from around here, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So I start off in Willow Grove. This is day before yesterday. I start off in Willow Grove. Now I got to be in work at 9. That's like my start time. I start off in Willow Grove. I got to take a ride to Broomall. Willow Grove to Broomall. Okay. But I got to pick the rider up in Lansdale. So I go Willow Grove to Lansdale to Broomall. Right? Mm-hmm. From Broomall, I pick up somebody. I do a quick 10-minute ride, no big deal. And then I get another ride that takes me from Haverford to Camden. And then Camden to work.
Oh, shit.
For 3 rides.
Yeah.
But those 3 rides took me 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Now you got a fucking 40-minute ride back to work.
Well, so that was part of the time frame.
Yeah.
So it was 6. It took me 2 hours to do those rides, and then another 40 minutes to work. But I made it. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's crazy like how I'll go from Willow Grove to Broomall to Haverford to Camden, back up to Willow Grove to work.
Yeah.
That's my morning, man.
Yeah.
That's my morning commute.
Wow. That's crazy.
So you got any stories?
I got a couple stories, but
the first one I'm going to actually play for you.
I
know you got a good story about quitting a job.
Quitting jobs.
The Burger King
the
one.
Burger King one.
That's lady.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure you've told the story before.
On here,
on here,
or
Or
on the
other show, one of these shows, you've told the story.
So just real quick,
But-
I got surgery on my wrist. I had a cast up to my elbow, and like I literally that day that I got fired, got my cast taken off. And one of our jobs, Rob and I worked together. One of our jobs was we had to clean the fryers. And it's probably the worst job in there because the fryers are fucking hot as hell. It's all the hot oil that they cook the fries and the chicken nuggets and all of the chicken. Anything that's fried gets cooked in these things.
Been cooking all day.
They've been cooking all day.
And they're like, it's like 500 degrees in this thing, and you have to scrub them out, and you have to drain all the oil out of them and transfer the oil from one to another. And there's 4 different vats. It's a fucking pain in the ass. But because I still had like open sutures and like I'm still trying to get like muscle back in my arm, even though it's a month, like you lose it.
Yeah, fucking Donna.
Yeah, fucking Donna.
So she fucking the manager that's on that night. Rob's supposed to leave at 8. I'm supposed to close. Instead of 2 people closing, it's going to be just 1. They cut Rob loose early. Now Rob's laughing at me because he got cut loose at like 7, and I had to stay for another 2.5 hours and close. But I also had to clean the fryers. And I told this lady specifically, I can't clean the fryers. I got a doctor's note. She wasn't having it, so she's like, "You need to clean the fryers." I'm like, "I'm not fucking cleaning the fryers. I'm not doing it." She goes, "If you don't clean the fryers, you're fired." And I went, "Well, I'm not cleaning them." And then she went, "You're fired." But now, so she's stamping pies, and like, if you remember, like old school supermarkets, it was the clicker where it was like click, 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 click. Well, she's stamping these pies with like a timestamp on there, so you know whether it's good or not. And I just fucking threw my hat at her, and I was like, "Well, then I'm fucking out of here. I can't believe you fucking fired me." And then I clocked out. And then, she called me the next day.
And I think we walked
we did
home together, right?
She called me the next day and apologized, and they offered me my job back, but I never went back.
Yeah.
That was my last day break.
So I found a video.
Found a video of a girl quitting at Walmart.
Attention, all Walmart shoppers, associates, and managers. My name is Shauna from Cap 2, and I just want to come on here and say Henry is a racist, stinky prick. Giovanna is racist. Elias is a prick of a manager. This company fires black associates for no reason. This company treats their employees like shit, especially Cap 2, and Jimmy from Sporting Goods, Joseph the cashier, Larry from Garden Center. You are all perverts. And I hope you don't the way you talk to me. Shout out to Ariel. Fucking love you for getting me this job a year ago when I needed it. Managers, fuck this company, fuck this position, and fuck that big lazy bitch, Chris Price. I fucking quit.
I love it. I'm out. I want that for later.
She filmed that shit of her on the PA system, just saying all that over the store.
Yeah,
I
more
just thought
people
it
need
was
to
hilarious.
So my next job after Burger King, I actually went and got a job at I was doing bill collecting. And short time frame that I was there, Brian Reddy got me the job. And basically all we would do is like we wouldn't do any collecting per se. We would call people, and if they answered, we tell them that like there used to be a mailing catalog called Finger Hut. So we worked for Finger Hut. It was like we did all the bill collecting for them. So if you ordered shit from Finger Hut, they wouldn't expect you to pay for it up front. You'd get a bill. I had so many people fucking hang up on me and yell at me, and I would just be like, "Hey, I'm calling about your Finger Hut bill." And if they didn't answer, I would have to say, "Hey, this is Mary Stover, or this is this is Steve." You get to make up your own name, whatever you want. I would always use my name, but guy Pedro next to me would call and say it was George Killian and put on the fake Irish accent. It was hysterical. So I would always just say it's Steve, and I'm calling from Mary Stover. Please call back. Blah blah blah. So unfortunately, at this time frame for us, we had 2 of our friends pass away in a short period of time. And the second one, I went to both the funerals, and it just so happened to be like we had to work like one Saturday. And this is a true story. So it was a Friday afternoon. It was Thursday. It's a Thursday afternoon. I had my prom that weekend. So I knew that I was not going to be there that day. So I went in and I told him, "Hey, listen, actually, I'm wrong. I'm wrong on the story. Give me a second."
Sure.
I missed because of a funeral, and I missed because of my prom weekend.
Okay.
So I have a funeral that I have to go to again. It's another funeral for somebody else. And I'm standing outside and I'm like, I can't come in on Saturday. And if this motherfucker doesn't let me take the day off, we're going to have to stop. So there's a Puerto Rican girl that works there, and we're outside and we're smoking. And I'm like, if he tells me I can't have off, I'm just going to quit. And she's like, well, he's not going to let you quit. And I'm like, well, if I go in there and quit, you got to quit with me. And she's like, well, I don't want to quit. And I'm like, you hate this job anyway. Just fucking quit. So she's like, whatever. You're not going to quit. You're going to fucking come in on Saturday. I'm like, she almost dared me to do it. So I went in, and I swear to you, this guy was like the MK guy from Lumberg from Office Space. So I go into his office, and I'm like, listen, I can't come in on Saturday. I got a funeral. And he's like, you already had a funeral. You use that excuse. And I'm like, well, I had a second friend out. Let me tell you. And he goes, and you went, you had your prom. He's like, this isn't a job. You've only been here for 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not coming in on Saturday. And he goes, if you don't come in on Saturday, you're fired. I'm like, I don't think you're hearing me. I'm quitting. I'm not coming in on Saturday, and I'm fucking leaving right now. So I walked out, and I walked right past this girl's desk, and I went, I just quit. I'm giving you 5 minutes or I'm leaving without you. I went outside and I smoked a cigarette, and sure as shit, she came out. She goes, I just quit too. Where are we going? I went, it's back to my house. My dad had to drive her home. But yeah. She totally quit. So not out there. Awesome.
Never talk to her ever again.
Not after that.
You ever talk to her ever again?
It's pretty cool.
Right.
Oh, no. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite quit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I got no fight at Burger King.
I know I got no fight at Burger King too. I don't quit.
You stayed a little bit longer.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. I got fired.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. I got fired
for
arguing with Keith,
Lori,
and Lori.
A lot of people got fired from Burger King homes.
And then
I like got fired that night, but then they called me back the next day and told me that I wasn't fired either. I was like, all right, man, cool. Just let me know when I'm scheduled again. And they called me and told me my schedule, and I just never went back.
Once you get like that job, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not coming back.
Yep.
First off, as far as closers go, like we were the best.
Oh, dude, we were beasts.
Yeah. And that's probably real appealing to anybody who had to close with us because we had the whole back shut down and ready to go before they even closed the registers in the front.
Yeah, we literally were like, all right, we just got to spray this floor and we're out.
We're out of here.
Yep.
You have any more stories? Or you want me to get?
I got one.
We got.
Woman who glued her own vagina shut to frame ex-boyfriend gets a 10-year prison sentence.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
She did what with what?
She glued her own lady bits shut in an effort to frame her ex-boyfriend for the crime.
Lady bits.
That's what it says. Yeah.
Nice.
She claimed her name was Vanessa. Vanessa claimed that Ivan kidnapped her and abused her before leaving her half naked with super glue in her most private area near Spain. Turns out there was zero truth to her story. Closed circuit TV proved her story was false. Rico spent time in prison like 3 days. So he was okay. And now she's going to prison for 10 years. For 2 counts of making up a crime.
Good.
And she has to compensate him by paying him just under $30,000 in damages.
Jesus. Is that all his lawyer fees? Probably.
Yeah.
11-year-old steals school bus, flips off the cops during chaotic joyride.
Yeah, a steal school bus.
He stole a school bus.
Oh, you said steal. I'm like, what?
Steals school bus.
Okay. Oh. All right.
An 11-year-old piloting a school bus led cops on a joyride chase through streets of Baton Rouge over the weekend. Not only that, but the kid, who per the article was so small that he apparently had to stand up to reach the pedals, managed to evade police for over half an hour, swerve around multiple spike strips, and flip off the lawman along the way.
This kid is amazing.
Yeah. At one point, first off, it's hard as fuck to drive a bus. At one point, the boy reached his hand out the window and made an obscene gesture towards pursuing officers. And though we can in no way condone this child's reckless behavior, we can't help but concede to it's pretty badass. The kid eventually crashed the bus into a tree and was peacefully taken into custody with no injuries.
I like this kid.
I like the kid too. While we're on the subject of police arresting people, There's a Virginia bill that would ban pre-arrest sex between police and detainees. Like, I feel like this is one of those ones that you should automatically know.
Hold on.
Like,
hold on.
it
Let
should
me just make sure that I heard you correctly. There's a bill to ban police from having sex pre-arrest with a criminal.
Yes.
Why do you need a bill for that?
That's what I said.
What the like?
Pre-arrest sex between police.
So
and
so
detainees.
how many times?
So it's
did
like
this happen?
it's like, hey, like
No,
the
wait, how
cop
many
the cop
times-
rolls up and listen. All right, I'll read it to you. A
this
bill to
happened
charge
a
law.
shit ton of times. Then if you need a
Absolutely.
bill,
A bill to charge law enforcement officers with a Class 6 felony if they engage in sexual relations with a detainee has been unanimously passed both chambers of Virginia General Assembly. How would you have been like that, where it didn't pass unanimously? There was one guy that went, "It's not that big a deal. Let him do it."
but it shouldn't even need to be a bill. Shouldn't
There's
it be
so
like
much-
an unspoken thing? Like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, make sure you don't like.
Virginia law currently states that employees of correctional facilities or jails cannot have sexual relations with someone in their custody. But Delaney said current law does not make it illegal for police officers to have sexual relations with someone who has been detained but not yet arrested. So, like, let's say they roll up on somebody and you're like, hey, we're stopping you for questioning, but you're a fucking smoke show. I want to rip you apart right now. And then, like, in the middle of sex, she's like, I got to charge you for this. And you're like, fuck, now I got to arrest you. Now I got to arrest you. Now it's illegal. He can't arrest her. It's got to be like, all right, well, here's the $20 that I owe you. Like, you're free to go.
Okay.
But-
Sounds crazy though. Sounds like they did that shit a lot.
Yeah. Oklahoma City jailers face cruelty charge because they were playing Baby Shark on a loop, and it's been deemed inhuman
In the jail?
in the jail.
Ooh.
Baby Shark.
Oh, dude,
So Baby Shark actually this past weekend, I believe, became the most played video on YouTube ever.
Yeah.
It's got like 7 billion views or something like that.
Yeah.
2 former detention officers and a supervisor were charged Monday after an investigation found inmates at the Oklahoma City jail were forced to listen to popular children's song Baby Shark on a loop at loud volumes for extended periods of time.
That's crazy. Like, but I don't know.
This
like,
is pretty crazy to me.
let me ask you, ready? I got a issue about this. So, are you able to you're able to do this? You can just tone things out, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I'm in a room and I don't want to hear that song, for some reason I could just tone it out.
Totally can tune anything out. Like
Yeah.
as husbands, we get yelled at all the time, like, not paying attention or you're not listening to me. I think this is different though. So they've actually done like CIA like operations where they would fucking have detainees and they would play horrible music over and over again repeatedly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it says at least 4 inmates were subjected to the inhumane discipline in an attorney visitation room of the jail last November and December, according to the charge. The inmates were forced to stand the entire time, hands cuffed behind them and secured to the wall. Charged were Gregory Cornell Butler Jr., 21 of Edmond, Christian Charles Miles, 21 of Oklahoma City, and Christopher Raymond Hendershot of 50 of Wellston. How did 2 guys that are 21 years old get jobs as correction officers?
They knew someone.
They had to. Like, that's crazy to me that, like, that's even more crazy than the article itself. Like, you guys are both 21.
Yeah.
Fucked up your job, man.
Yeah, definitely. So they actually put them in a different room.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like playing constantly along the cell block. So they actually put them in a room and freaking played that song.
So this is one of my police catch restaurant thief napping in bathroom next to beer and half-eaten cheesecake. Police were called to a restaurant in Sunderland, England after receiving calls of a break-in that occurred overnight. When police arrived at the 808 bar and kitchen, they were immediately able to apprehend one of the men suspected of breaking into the restaurant because he was sleeping in one of the bathrooms. Police found the suspect completely passed out next to a bucket of bottles of beer, cider, and drinks, along with a half-eaten cheesecake.
Nice.
I love it.
Can't fall asleep when you're trying to rob them.
The restaurant owner said, I was in shock for a split second and thought I'm going to have to defend myself as I expected him to jump up and make a run for it. But then I realized he was snoring away, fast asleep. So I thought on my feet, grabbed the keys, locked all the doors so he was locked inside and couldn't escape, and then called the police. So police are still looking for another man suspected to take part in the theft. First off, no man left behind.
Yeah,
Like, do you think
can't
he's just in
leave
the middle
that
of it?
dude
He's
there.
like, fuck, where did he go? Like, he had no idea he was in the bathroom just fucking pounding beers, eating cheesecake.
Nah, dude, that had to be a moment where the dude was like, I'm not fucking leaving. Fuck this.
Yeah.
All right,
Couldn't
man.
get him up.
You're done. See you.
Yeah, I'm leaving you here.
Yeah. I got an interesting one here for you.
Hit me.
So a man bought an abandoned town. His name is Brent. And in July of 2018, he purchased a former mining town, Cerro Gordo, with some friends. It was once California's largest producer of silver and once had nearly 5,000 residents of 500 buildings. Today, there's 22 buildings, and he's working to restore the town. Like, he's trying to turn it into like a touristy thing.
Uh-huh.
But it's a ghost town. Like, there's literally ghosts, and there's like mines and shit underground.
So I think I've mentioned this. Did he see any ghost dinosaurs?
No.
I don't
Would you
believe it,
go, though?
Huh?
Would you go?
So the guy totally stole an idea. There's a TV show. It's like one of those Discovery ones, like Finding Alaska or something, or the Edge of Alaska, where it's a mining town that's been abandoned, and it's called McCarthy. It's McCarthy, Alaska, or something.
Yeah.
And this guy wants to turn one of the mines into a tourist attraction, and it's like the last bastion of like old like 49er, gold rush kind of shit. And like the citizens of the town are like, nah, dude, we don't want all these fucking tourists here. We moved out here for the peace and quiet.
there's
And like,
no
you want
one
to turn
here.
this resort.
Yeah.
It's the same thing the guy's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to turn an old mining town into a fucking travel attraction. And, let's tell everybody there's ghosts here. Woo!
Well, he said they asked him, he did like a whole Reddit Q&A thing.
Right.
And they asked him,
how much did he pay for the town? Does it say?
$1.5 million. I
Jesus
believe it said.
Christ.
I think that's what it said. 1.
Who got that money? The state?
I have no idea. $1.4 million. He said he put his life savings into it, took short-term loans, and he's still trying to find other partners. He hopes by next summer to already have people there. But they asked him about paranormal experience, and he said, before buying the town, I was a firm non-believer. It wasn't something I believed in or thought about, so that element wasn't even interesting to me. Since being here, there have been a number of experiences that have moved me along the scale closer to thinking skeptical, but not impossible. One of my earlier days here, I was walking by a building called the Bunkhouse from 1900. You have to walk by it to get to this nice sunset spot. As I was walking by, I noticed that the light in the kitchen was on. Someone opened the kitchen blinds and looked out and closed them. It didn't immediately freak me out because there had been some people working on the property, and I had just got there the day before. I thought maybe they were staying in the building. So I went about my night, and in the morning asked the caretaker who was here at the time how long the contractors were staying in the bunkhouse. He kind of slowly turned to me and said they had left weeks ago. That made my stomach drop a bit, but I'm a rational person, so I went over to check out for drafts or anything weird. I went in the bunkhouse, turned off the light, and put a padlock on the door, one that only I had the key to. That night, I went back to the sunset spot. The light was back on in the bunkhouse, not just on, but the switch was flipped back up. Nobody has the key, and there was no way to enter. So that, combined with the face I saw the day before, freaked me out a little bit. And just random stuff moving around without me moving them. So I'd go. Would you go?
Yeah, I would totally go.
Like, would you go, like, basically go and stay up all night kind of thing?
Yeah, I told you my theory on ghosts now.
What?
So there was a time where I would have went, yeah, I can believe in the paranormal. I believe in aliens more than I believe in ghosts.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that we only see people as ghosts?
Yeah.
We don't ever see any ghost pets. There's no ghost dogs, no ghost cats. Why isn't there ghost dinosaurs chasing people down the fucking street?
There should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nobody ever sees that. It's always, I saw a person.
Like,
Like, what?
Scooby-Doo, they have animals and all kinds of weird shit.
It's not real, though.
Scooby-Doo, man.
No, the animals. They always wind up being some groundskeeper Willie or some shit. Right.
Yeah.
So like my thing is, I've had this conversation before with somebody. They said, well, the only reason that ghosts exist is because they have unresolved business with Earth. And I'm like, you don't think the dinosaurs had unresolved fucking business? They got hit by an asteroid and then fucking froze to death. It's like the definition of unresolved. Why are we not seeing ghost pterodactyls fucking flying around?
Ghost pterodactyls.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Like, here you are, a brontosaurus, and you're in the middle of fucking snacking on a tree, like num num num, and all of a sudden, boom, you're dead. Like, that's not unfinished in the middle of a fucking meal. I don't believe in ghosts anymore because I think that more than just people would be ghosts.
All right. So what is it then?
What?
Like what he described there?
I don't know. Aliens. I believe it's more aliens than it is anything.
All right. They have special fucking powers.
Absolutely. I literally, I would have been on board with it, but I feel like the only people that are ghosts are people who are like, somebody's died in my house.
Right.
Like, old people die in people's houses all the time.
Yeah.
No ghosts.
I don't know how that works.
I saw this person. Like, no, dude. If you tell me that, listen, I saw a fucking a mollusk. Fucking
Well, it's like, you
a
know,
woolly
you're
mammoth.
right though. Why wouldn't you see a ghost of like your cat or dog that died in your house that you had for 15 years?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't cats tripping you down the steps in the middle of the night by accident? These ghost cats that are pissed off.
Yeah.
You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense.
Like, why are you not driving down the road and going, oh my God, that's a fucking ghost dinosaur. That's a ghost T-Rex coming right at my car right now. No, you don't see any of that shit. And that's why I don't believe in ghosts.
Speaking of ghost, skeletons, right? So there was someone put up their Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
And they actually made like a restaurant out of a whole bunch of skeletons on their front lawn.
Nice.
It was pretty freaking
Did you get
cool.
pictures?
No, I didn't take
Should
pictures.
throw it up on the website. How did your son Shane do as Trump?
Good. No one really said nothing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was worried about just people being assholes because adults are assholes.
A couple people liked it.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't anything crazy.
I'm
so
sure.
It was funny. Someone actually had to ask them though, like, are you Trump?
Yeah, it's obvious who it is.
Yeah.
Just a quick announcement before we get out of here for the night, for the day, whatever. You can always download the podcast through Apple, through iTunes, through Google Play.
Everywhere
you can actually go now. You can go to Amazon and you can type in the Sarcast, and you can pull up our episodes through Amazon Music. You can go to iTunes, or not iTunes, iHeartRadio. You can find it on there. You can find it on Spotify. These are all different ways that you can find our show. But as always, we ask go subscribe. You can check out our show each and every week, CB Pro Live. I would also encourage you to subscribe to that because you get to pick up all the other shows that are here. You got Prime Debate. They do their show on Mondays. You have Row Homies and Lady Juice on Tuesdays, also on Wednesdays. You have My First Day at War, Cardo show. You've got
Santa Boot First
Thursdays. You got Devo Sports Cats. You can also check out Nate Moss and the Money Pop podcast. But the reason I'm bringing up all the other shows is because we're getting ready to do a live show for the Camp Out for Hunger. If you're from the Philadelphia area, you know what it is. 93 MMR does it every year. Preston and Steve, they do the Camp Out for Hunger where they collect non-perishable food items. So Sandy from the Lady Juice show suggested that we jump on board with this. And as always, as a company, Crackball Productions, as a show, we love doing charity stuff. We love trying to get out there in the community and help out. So we reached out to Patty Wax, Welsh Boulevard, 9241, Roosevelt Boulevard. It's Patty Wax Welsh. And we're going to do a live show there. We're going to do 4 hours, November 18th.
It's a Wednesday night.
It's a Wednesday night. So when you normally would catch us, it'll be that night. We're going to go from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. You're going to have 4 shows. It's going to be Santa Boot first, then the Row Homies, Lady Juice, and we're going to cap off the night. But between now and then, if you bring a non-perishable food item to the bar as a donation, you can either get a free draft beer or an order of their patty chips, which are exactly what they sound like. They're Patty Wax signature potato chips, which are delicious. But even for just the free beer, it's a good move.
Yeah.
You can also drop off non-perishable items to me at work at my office. It's Robbins Insurance, We're in Willow Grove, 415 Davisville Road.
Or if you know where the studio is, leave them outside the front door.
Yeah, you can leave them outside the front door, and we'll collect them there as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of them, and we're going to drop them off at the camp out of Hunger. Lady Juice will take them down, and her show staff we'll take them down and do the drop off. But we'd love to have everybody come out and join us, drink some beers, have a night of laughs. It's for charity. It's not
Sarcast will be a great episode that night.
Oh yeah, because we're going to be smashed by the time we go on. So
we need someone to drive us home.
I'm Ubering.
Oh, I can't. I got all the equipment.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
Need someone to pick me up at 5 o'clock.
We'll figure it out. It's gonna be a fun night, though. I'm predicting a huge turnout.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
Just based off of the amount of shows that we're gonna have there, and all of our family and friends. So definitely come out and support a good cause. So that's our show for this week, and we will see you guys next week.
See you later.